October 31st, Part 1. So, the day arrived. Cloudy, with a small wind out of the north. I told myself I was not nervous, that as an old hand to this, there were no jitters of anticipation, no rushes of anxiety, no waves of pure fear. But I'd gone down to the basement to begin my rounds when I realized there were no rounds to make. I found myself returning to check our assembly of ingredients and tools over and over again. Finally, I went out and visited Larry's place. He was gone from his grove, and the house seemed empty. I went looking for Grey Milk, and when we met, we took a walk together. We hiked for a long time in silence before she said, "You and Jack will be the only closers there." "Looks that way," I said. "I'm sorry." "It's okay. Jill and I will be going to a meeting at the vicarage this afternoon. Morris and MacLeod will be there too." "Oh, strategy session?" "I guess so." We climbed a dog's nest and looked around. An altar-like raised area of boulders had been built up before the big stone. Heavy boards lay across it. Some kindling for the bane fire was already stacked, farther off. "Right there," she said. "Yes. We're going to protest the sacrifice part." "Good. You think Larry will be able to do what he plans?" "I don't know." We climbed down a different way than we'd gone, discovering some fresh, misshapen footprints. "I wonder what will become of the big fellow now," she said. "I feel sorry for him. The night he picked me up, he didn't mean to hurt me. I could tell." "Another lost one," I said. "Yeah. Sad." We walked again in silence, and then, "I want to stand near you in the ark," she said. "I believe the vicar will be at the left end, with Morris and MacLeod next to him. Thecla and Knight with them, and Jill, and I'll stand to her right. I will assume a position 3 paces forward. That would put you and Jack beside us." "Oh?" "Yes, I've been working for this arrangement. You must be to my right and slightly back. That is, to Jack's left." "Why?" "Because something bad might happen to you if you stand to his right." "How do you know this?" "My small wisdom." I thought about it. The old cat in the dream world was obviously on her side. She was an opener. Therefore, he could be setting me up for something, but his remarks concerning the elders had almost seemed disparaging, and he'd seemed kindly disposed towards me. Reason stopped here. I knew I had to trust my feelings. "I'll do it," I said. We neared our area, and I said, "I'm going to walk over and see whether Larry's back. You want to come with?" No, the meeting." All right. Well, it's been good." "Yes. I never knew a dog this well before." "Same with cats and me." "I'll see you later, then?" "Yes." She headed home. I searched all around Larry's place again, but there was no sign of his return. On my way home, I heard my name hissed from a clump of weeds. "Snuff, old boy, good to see you. I was on the way over. Saved me a trip." "Quicklime, what have you been up to?" "Hanging out in that orchard. Eating the hard stuff. Just stopped by for a quick one. On the way over." "Why were you coming to see me?" "Learned something, and I wanted you to know." "What?" "I picked up a bad habit from Rastoff, I guess. Look at me. I feel like I'm shedding my skin." "You're not." "I know, but I really liked him. When I left you, I headed for the old orchard and just started eating the old fermented ones. I felt like somebody needed me when I was with him. The fruit's almost gone now. I'll come around. I'll be all right, but I miss him. He was a good man. The vicar got him, and that's what Nightwind told me. Wanted to narrow the field. That's why the Count disposed of Owen, to send the vicar a message. You'll get the vicar, won't you? Quick, I think you've had too much. Owen was killed after the Count was staked. Clever, isn't he? That's what I was coming to tell you. He fooled us. He's still around. What? How? When I reached the peak of my indulgence the other night, I suddenly felt terribly lonely. I didn't want to be alone, so I went looking for someone, something, lights, movement, sounds. I went over to the gypsy camp, which was perfect. I curled up beneath a wagon, planning to spend the night there and sleep it off. But I heard parts of a conversation from the wagon which led me all the way up through the floorboards. I had chosen the wagon. A pair of guards were in it. Sometimes they'd speak in their own tongue, sometimes in English. The younger one wanted the practice. I spent the night there instead of below, but I learned a story. I even found an opening that gave me a view of the casket. He's with the gypsies? Yes. They guard him by day as he sleeps, guard the casket at night when he's away. So he faked it, dressed the skeleton we'd found in his garments, and then put the stake in himself. Yes, the crumbly skeleton that was already there, and that's why the ring wasn't on it. Yes, he was safe in that, too. Anyone finding the remains would assume the staker had taken it. I felt a chill. Quick, did he make the arrangement after the death of the moon? Yes. Your calculations would be unaffected. Good, but this I don't understand. The Count killed Owen because the vicar killed Rastov. Owen was an opener. Does that reflect a particular sympathy on the part of the Count? Or was he simply out to check the vicar and keep violence from spreading? I don't know. Nothing was said on the matter. He growled softly. This is a complicated one. Agreed. Now you know everything I do. Thanks. You want to come with me? No. I'm really out of the game. Good luck. Luck, quick. I heard him slither off. It rained a little that afternoon, and it stopped shortly after sunset. I went outside to look for the moon, and Bobo came with me. The clouds still veiled her, however, we could all see that big area of brightness she shed in the east. The wind blew chill. So this is it, Bobo said. By morning, it'll all be decided. Yes. I wish I could have been playing all along. A wish on the moon, I said. It may be true. You have been playing in a way. You've traded information. You've watched things develop. Same as the rest of us. Yes, but I didn't really do important things like the rest of you. It's mainly the little things, all added up, that give us the final picture. That make the difference. I suppose so. Yes, it was fun. Do you think I could possibly come with? I'd like to see it happen, however it goes. I'm sorry, I said. We couldn't be responsible for a civilian. And I think it's going to be a rough one. I understand. I guessed that, but I had to ask. I left him there after a time watching the sky. The moon was hidden. And so, we left before midnight, of course, Jack and I. He in a warm coat, carrying a satchel containing the equipment. Under his other arm, he bore a few small logs for the fire. We left without bothering to lock the door. The sky was beginning to clear overhead, though the moon was still masked. There was sufficient light just from the glow-through. However, we could see our way clearly. There was a chill, damp breeze. Soon, dog's nest was before us, and Jack decided we should circle it and mount the eastern slope. We did that. As we came in sight of the top, a small glow was already apparent off in the circle towards the same stone with the inscription. Moving nearer, we saw that Vicar Roberts and Morris and MacLeod were tending a small fire they'd obviously just gotten going, nursing it to achieve a greater compass. The vicar's ear was unbandaged now, and light shone through the two high perforations in it. The heap of kindling was much larger than when Grey Malk and I had been by earlier. The bane fire is a necessary part of our business. It goes all the way back to the misty vastness of our practices. Both sides require it, so in this sense, it is a neutral instrument. After midnight, it comes to burn in more than one world. We may add to those things which enhance our personal strengths and serve our ends. It attracts otherworldly beings sympathetic to both sides, as well as neutral spirits. Voices and sights may pass through it, and it serves as secondary, supportive point of manifestation to whatever the opening or closing objects may be. Customarily, we all bring something to feed it. It interacts with us all throughout the ritual. I had urinated on one of the sticks, for example, several days earlier. There are times when players have been attacked by its flames. I can recall an instance when one was defended by a sudden wall of fire it issued. It also is good for disposing of evidence, and it comes in handy on particularly cold nights, too. "Good evening," Jack said as we approached, and added his contribution to the woodpile. "Good evening, Jack," the vicar said. Morris and MacLeod nodded. Lynette lay on her back upon the altar, head turned in our direction, eyes closed, breathing slow. She was well drugged, of course. She had a long white garment on, and her dark hair hung loose. I looked away. Obviously, the protest had been overridden. I sniffed the air. No sign of Jill or Grey Malk yet. The fire bloomed more brightly. Jack set his bag down and moved to help with it. I decided on a quick patrol of the area, and I made a big circuit. There was nothing unusual to be found. I went and stared at the huge stone. Just then, the edge of the moon appeared from behind the clouds. Its light fell on it. The markings had become visible again, dark upon the illuminated surface. I went and sat by Jack's satchel. The vicar had on a dark cloak, which made a swishing sound as he moved. It didn't conceal the fact that he was a short, slightly fat man. It neither added nor detracted from his appearance of menace. That was all in his face, with its intense expression of controlled mania. The moon was doubled in his glasses. Upon their joint ministrations, the bane fire grew to a respectable size. The vicar was the first to toss something in it, a small parcel which crackled and flared bluely. I took a sniff. It involved herbs I'd encountered before. Morris added 2 parcels. I could tell they involved bones. Jack added a very small one, which produced a green flash. I tossed in one of my own, along with my damp stick. The moon slid completely free of the clouds. The vicar went and stared at the inscription, not even glancing at his stepdaughter. Then he backed away, turned to his left, took several paces, halted, turned back to the stone, adjusted his position slowly, and then scuffed the ground with his boot heel. "I will position myself here," he said, glancing at Jack. "I've no objection," Jack said. "Your associates will be to your right, I presume?" "That's what I had in mind. Morris here, MacLeod there, and then Jill," he said, gesturing. Jack nodded, just as a dark shape swept past the face of the moon. Moments later, Nightwind dropped out of the sky, coming to rest atop the woodpile. "Hello, Snuff. Care to switch?" "No, thanks. You?" He did one of those unusual rotations of his head. "Think not, especially when we outnumber you in all respects." Shortly, Tikla swooped in with a caw, landing on the vicar's shoulder. "Greetings, Night Wind," she said. "And a good game to you, sister." She looked at me and looked away. She said nothing. Neither did I. Everyone added more kindling, more ingredients to the fire. Finally, a pair of fresh, large logs were set upon it. Many colored flames played about them. Soon the logs darkened in the flames, and the fire danced upon their surfaces. A mixture of odors reached me as the powders, bones, herbs, fleshy samples of anatomy, both human and other, were added. A few vials of liquid were also dumped upon it to smolder and produce heavy, crawling ropes of smoke, to flare brightly, briefly, within the crackling. I seemed to hear a subliminal whispering begin. I heard Jill's footsteps mounting the northern slope. When she appeared, it was hard to distinguish her against the night for several moments. She had a hooded black cloak over long black dresses. She looked taller, more slim. She carried Grey Malk, though she set her down immediately when she achieved the level area. "Good evening," she said in general. All four men responded. "Hi, Snuff," Grey Malk said, coming up beside me. "It's a good fire already." "Yes." "As you can see, you were overridden. Did you find Larry?" "No." "Oh, my. There is a backup plan," I said. And Nightwind came by just then to greet Grey Malk. I felt a strong desire to howl at the moon. It was such a howlable moon. But I restrained myself. The smell of incense reached me. Jill had begun casting parcels into the bane fire. The moon moved nearest to mid-heaven. "How will we know when the time is to begin?" "When we can talk to the people." "Ah, of course." "How's your back?" "It's all right now." "You look fit." "I'm fine." We watched the fire for a time. Another log was added. More packets. Soon the inscription began to glow. Overhead, the moon had reached mid-heaven. "Jack, can you hear me?" I called. "Loud and clear, Snuff." Well met by moonlit. "What's on your mind?" "Just checking the time," I said. Suddenly, Nightwind was talking to Morris and MacLeod. Tikla to the victor. "I guess it's time," Grey Malk said. "It is," I replied. She went off to collect Jill, who was tossing a final packet into the fire. The air was distorted above us with colored flames now, as if it were burning in more than one place simultaneously, and in the shimmering area, you could just about catch glimpses of some of those other worlds. From somewhere to the north, I heard the howl of a wolf. The vicar went and stood at the spot he had indicated. Morris and MacLeod moved to take up their positions to his right. Nightwind stood atop a rock between them, and Jill moved to stand between MacLeod. Grey Malk next to her, but 3 cat paces forward. I went and stood near her, Jack to my right. The line was bowed out away from the big stone, with Jack and the vicar across from each other. Lynette dozed on the altar, about 10 feet in front of me. From somewhere within his cloak, the vicar removed the pentacle bowl. He placed it on the ground before him. Then he withdrew the icon, which he propped against a rock to his left, facing the glowing stone. Nightwind moved to a new position, back behind the pentacle. The openers always begin things, of course, as the closers work is purely reactive. Jack, his satchel to his right, it was already open, and he began to remove various ingredients. He led and spread its mouth fully for easy access. MacLeod knelt and spread a piece of white cloth upon the ground before him. As it was windy, he weighted its corners with small stones. Then from an ornate sheath which hung beneath his belt, he drew a long, thin blade, which looked to me like a sacrificial knife, and he played this upon the call, pointing towards the altar. The moon went out. We all looked up, and there was a dark shape covering it, descending, rushing towards us. Morris shrieked shrilly as it fell, changing shape as if dark veils swam about it, and the moon shone again. In the piece of midnight sky which had fallen to earth beside Jack, I saw a vision-twisting transformation. The Count stood at Jack's side, smiling a totally evil smile. He laid his left hand, the dark ring visible on it, right upon Jack's shoulder. "I stand with him to close you out." Vicar Roberts stared at him and licked his lips. "I would think one of your sort would be more inclined to our view in this matter. I like the world just the way it is. Pray, let us begin."